Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Max Stern Athletic Center. I'm Akiva Poppers alongside Dani Katz from the 2019-20 Maccabees team. We're here to preview this 2021-2022 season. The number 2 in the country, Yeshiva University Maccabees, are looking to capture a national championship. Dani, what do you have to say about this team? What do you think are our chances to win a national championship this year?
Well, I think the chances are very high. Obviously, this year we got tremendous talent. We've got tremendous leaders in Ryan, Eitan, and Gabe, and tremendous underclassmen along with the transfers. I think as long as we stay together and our chemistry's as high as it needs to be and our teamwork's where it's at, we're going to be contending for a national championship this season.
Wonderful. Now, let's take a look at this roster, this team's roster. There's not a lot of turnover from this year to from last year. We only graduated one player and lost a couple others. We have a few new transfers. I'd say the biggest piece coming back, which might be a surprise to fans, is Gabe Leifer.
Yeah.
You played with Gabe for several years. What are your thoughts on how important it is that Gabe Leifer is back this year?
I think along with obviously the other superstar talents we have, I think Gabe is probably the most important piece. I know I played with him for a bunch of years. His post presence, his beta type of mentality, dishing the rock out in our motion offense, it's something that's uncomparable and a staple of the offense that hopefully we can carry over once he leaves and find the right piece to substitute for him once he's gone.
Yep. And we've also got a few new transfers on this team. Ethan Lasco, Jordan Armstrong, and Nimrod Altit highlighting the transfers on this team. I want to take a little look at the schedule the Macs have this year. The non-conference schedule is brutal. I mean, I would argue this is the toughest non-conference schedule the Macs have ever played. It starts with Lycoming this Saturday night at 8 p.m. in Lycoming in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. That game obviously will not be broadcast on MacsLive. We get Eastern Connecticut State for the first home game of the year. That'll be an interesting one. But I would say the schedule's got to be highlighted by Illinois Wesleyan on December 30th. That is going to be an incredible game here.
Right. I mean, as the saying always is, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. And I think Illinois Wesleyan, when they come here, it's going to be 1 versus 2 or 2 versus 3. It's going to be 2 top 5 teams playing. And that's going to highlight the national showcase of Division III. And if you want to contend for a national championship, you got to play teams like Illinois Wesleyan, Williams, who's still a powerhouse.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're not ranked. You got to play those types of teams in order to compete for a national championship. And I think we're going to do very well against them. I think we are the best team in the country this year.
And what do you think is the key for this team, which we played a little sluggishly last year? We only had 7 games. It was the COVID year. What do you think is the key for this team to get back to where we were March of 2020, the team which you were on, where the motion offense was just running tremendously and the defense was strong? How do we get back to that level that we were in 2019-20?
I think it's going to take a little bit. We have a couple new transfers, obviously. We have a couple underclassmen, upperclassmen. I think it's going to be on the upperclassmen to obviously lead this team and have them mesh well together. It's all about the chemistry. It's all about the teamwork, how you play on the court. And if we can get those things moving like we had in my senior year, with the talent that we have, I think we're going to be holding the trophy at the end of the year.
Yep, and there's a big question which all the fans are wondering. Will fans be allowed in the Max Stern Athletic Center this year? So I'm pleased to tell you the current policy, this obviously could change, is that the Max Stern Athletic Center will be at full capacity with vaccination required and a mask required. But it is good to have fans back here in the Max Stern Athletic Center this year.
That is, the fans are one of the key ingredients and pieces to every home game. And I think we have the best home atmosphere in the world in terms of college basketball. I can say we're like the Cameron Crazies of Division III, and it's a key piece to every home game we have.
Yeah, and we're going to send it over now to S.J. Tannenbaum. He's going to have an interview with Coach Elliot Steinmetz of the Maccabees. So we're going to send it over soon to S.J. Dani, I'd like to thank you for your time. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
And great to have you back with the program as an assistant. And we look forward to many great things this year. S.J., take it away.
Everybody, I'm here with Coach Elliot Steinmetz of the YU Macs. Coach, we're early in the preseason right now. We're almost getting into the year. In what area would you say the team has improved the most since last year?
It's tough to say from last year. I mean, we've only had just 2 obviously preseason games. I think obviously our depth is what sticks out the most. We have we have a D1 guy coming off the bench right now early on, and that's pretty good. And then we've obviously added some size to our starting lineup. So I think the fact that we bolstered our depth will allow us to kind of go deeper in games with a lot more energy. I think that's a big area of improvement for us.
For sure. On that note, mentioning the D1 guy, Ethan Lasco, a new addition to the team this year. What that's unique do you think he can bring to the team based on coming from previous D1 experience?
I think it's an energy level. I think it's the fact that he's been playing against a pretty high level of competition for the last number of years, both in practice and in games. We've seen it so far on the defensive end, the way he guards and the way he picks up in the full court and in the half court. It's just a different level of intensity, and I'm hoping it'll be something that rubs off on the rest of the guys.
For sure. And lastly, based on 2 years ago, Sweet 16, making it that far, tournament getting canceled, last year's shortened season, with that all in the picture, what would it mean to win a national championship this season?
Oh, honestly, we're just trying to win Saturday night. So, obviously that's a goal, and it's a great one, and it's something that we're looking forward to. 2 seasons ago, it's got nothing to do, obviously, with this season. We have a lot of those guys back, and I'm sure they're kind of hungry to be back in the same spot. But the one thing that I love about this group, and that I've loved about them since 2 years ago, those same guys, they're mature enough to kind of just look at that next game, and they're not worried about what's after. We're not even worried about Sunday right now. We're worried about playing like Holman on Saturday night, and that's it.
For sure. Head coach Elliot Steinmetz, YU Macs, back to you, Akiva.
Thank you, SJ. I'm with Ryan Terrell, the star of the Yeshiva University Maccabees, and I want to ask you a couple of questions as we begin this season on Saturday night. Lycoming is going to allow fans. We haven't played with fans in such a long time, and we're going to allow fans here, too, in the Max Athletic Center. You played 2 games in Johns Hopkins where you went off without fans, and you were fantastic last year without fans. Do you play better with fans or without fans?
I really don't focus too much about how I play with or without fans. I thought it was a really cool experience at Johns Hopkins without fans, but I miss them. I miss the Max faithful being at every game and cheering loud for us. And last year I said to myself what I would do to just get a full Max Stern Athletic Center arena, one more time. So I'm just happy that this year we get to do that, and I'm excited for it.
And a couple of years ago, you told me the goal was Final Four national championship. I don't think anyone believed you. I don't think I believed you.
Right.
At that point, we were just looking at Skyline Conference championships. I think the world's on notice now. What's it going to take to actually win a national championship, though? We won 2 games at Johns Hopkins. We could have won more games. What's it going to take? Are we going to need to step up our defense, or how are we going to get back to that level that we were playing in 2019-20? What's it going to take to win an actual national championship?
It's going to take a lot of things. First of all, everyone has to be bought in, and everyone has to believe that goal is achievable. And I think that the whole team believes that. They're confident in that, and that's the main goal at mind. Another thing we have to do is just make sure we take every game at a time. Don't skip ahead. We've done that in the past where we've overlooked opponents, and it cost us. We lost the Skyline Championship game. We lost the first game before this winning streak. Because we looked past our opponents. We have to really make sure and focus on taking one game at a time and focusing on our opponent.
Thank you, Ryan. Looking forward to another amazing year with the Macs.
Awesome. Okay, Woj, appreciate you. All right, have a good one.
And I'll send it back to SJ.
Folks, we're sitting now with Offec Reef, vital member of this team. Offec, it's good to see you again.
It's good to see you also. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, sisters, plural. I miss all of you and everyone watching.
Definitely love to see everyone tuning in tonight. Offec, I'm sure you're excited to be back in the season. Speaking of returning to the season now, what are some things you worked on over the summer to improve your game?
Mainly 2 things. I worked a lot on my health issues that I had over last year. I was dealing with a knee injury, missed 2 games, and then I worked a lot on my jumper to improve. So hopefully I can translate that into this year.
100%. On another note, going into the season, obviously, as evident as this mask right here, fans are allowed to come back in person, obviously with some protocols. But what does it mean to you to finally be able to play in front of the Maccabees faithful, the fans, again this season?
I'm excited, and everybody should be too. We've been preparing for a great year. We're hoping to take this thing all the way, and I just want to see everybody, the little fans who ask for pictures after the games, young to old, everybody needs to be here. If you're not here, MacsLive, you know where it's at, and I'm just very excited.
Thanks so much, Offec. Kiva Poppers, Executive Director, MacsLive. Back to you.
Thank you, SJ. Thank you very much. I'm going to just preview this last interview which SJ is going to do. It's going to be with Ethan Lasco, a transfer who some of you might know. Ethan played at Indiana University for a year and then went to Manhattan College. So he's a D1 product, something which the Maccabees don't usually see. We don't get D1 to D3 transfers. It's very unusual, period, across the Division III world. But that's what the COVID waiver brings you. So, SJ, going to get ready to send it to you for an interview with Ethan Lasco. And take it away, SJ.
We're joined now by Mr. Ethan Lasco, a new addition to the YU Maccabees family. Ethan, it's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we want to ask you, right? You're coming from D1 experience, having played at Manhattan College and Indiana University. What similarities and differences do you notice from that prior experience compared to being here at Yeshiva University with the Maccabees?
I would say similarity-wise, I mean, basketball is basketball. We're practicing, we're working hard. We have a common goal of winning a national championship. So I think that's just the main similarity that's across all of college basketball, but especially here. I think we all have a goal in mind to win a national championship, and I think all of us want to do whatever it takes, honestly, to win that. And I think that was our mindset at both of the schools I was at before YU. I would say the biggest differences would probably just be hours, I would say. I think our hours were a little bit more difficult at a Division I level, just smack in the middle of the day. Not as much as a care to the class part of it. Here we're trying to get it in either late at night or in the morning. So I think in that we have a little bit more workouts and stuff like that. But other than that, I mean, basketball is basketball, like I said.
For sure. Lastly, just to close it off, you're joining this YU Maccabees team this season in the midst of a 36-game win streak. What does that mean to you?
That means that I'm joining a hell of a team, honestly. I know they've been doing great things for a long time. They have their quarterback, so I mean, it means that we got to go 72-0. So that's my goal. So
that sounds good to me.
Yep.
Ethan Lasco, brand new addition to the YU Maccabees. Kiva Poppers, back to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, SJ. That's going to conclude our program for tonight. Remember to tune in, Lycoming College, 8 p.m. from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, and the home opener on MacsLive.com against Eastern Connecticut State next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. MacsLive.com, MacsLive. We'll be bringing you all the coverage from the Macs. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe on YouTube. Thank you to all our viewers, to Dani, Katz, to SJ Tannenbaum, all the players and coaches who joined us tonight. We will see you soon. Have a good night.